Oh, wrong one. Lee Cobian, Edward Kemper, Avery Tsui. Can you all come to the table?
Good morning, Council, Chair, and members. Thank you. My name is Lee Cobian. I'm the owner of AAC. We're an environmental regulatory and consulting firm. I'm here to testify, of course, in support of this, but I'm also here to represent, and I'm a counsel to 3 nonprofit entities. Brad Hayes is not here, but I do have his book. He is the executive director of the Naval Air Station Barbers Point Museum, which is right next to that property. He knows everything about the historical value of it. I'm also representing and helping out the Sports Club, Car Club of America, with Ed Kemper here and Avery Suji. They're also a nonprofit entity, along with the NAS entity that runs the museum. Plus, the third entity that we're helping out is the UH race team, University of Hawaii, a race team who did really good this year. I don't know if you remember when I was here last time, I was talking to them, to you all about it. They went to Nebraska, and they got a huge proclamation from the governor. We put the race car at the Capitol, made a whole ceremony on it. It was beautiful. They came in second in efficiency. What was it, 10 in presentation and 14 overall. And this is out of like 100 universities in the U.S. and Nebraska, where like the top guys are Texas A&M. And they did that without having a racetrack here. What I want to, what we're pushing in support of that property is for 3 proposals. Number 1, because there is an existing airstrip there, and it's the 1945 configuration, which is outside of the 1941 boundary. We want to restore that restore the existing airstrip for a film site and a landing zone for emergency cases, plus use it as a potential motorsports asphalt area for road racing. I keep hearing over and over about this preservation, and it's true. There is a portion of it. It's exactly 5 acres out of the 225 acres that's in the preservation zone. I have all the studies, all the research, and I even had a meeting with Hunt's #1 consultant from Lewis Berger Company, the president, Mr. Robert Nardi, which a few of you have met already. I think Kim had a meeting with him and some of the park people. And he confirmed that the section that is under the preservation boundary is it's not the same area that we're proposing for the activity that we want. And it's in my second page of my testimony. Here, this is all Hunt, this is all the preservation, this is John Bond's Disneyland, and here is the 220 acres that's has nothing to do with the preservation zone. So I want to make that clear, because I keep hearing over and over opposition because of the preservation, and I want to make it clear the parcels we're talking about is number 20, 43, and 44, which makes up 220 acres out of the total 225. And those are, and I've been looking at this property for 20 years. For 20 years. Okay, since the BRAC time. And so, yeah, it has been a long time. And I haven't given up. And so I close in, I'll allow the other testifiers to speak.
Okay, well, any questions for Mr. Cobian? Yes, Councilmember Anderson.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much for sharing your mana'o, and also for giving us some history with the map. That's very helpful.
I have actually a storehouse full of all the information for that.
Can you tell the committee any vision that you do have for that parcel that you had referred to as John Bond's Disneyland? Are you suggesting we restore it or leave it alone?
I don't care about it. It's got nothing to do with what we want, because that's a whole different area.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever John Bond wants to do with that,
So you have no interest in restoration, preservation,
not in that
just
side,
staying away from it?
I just want to stay away from it. And that particular section is the 1941 designated airfield, okay, which the National Park Service has already recognized in many reports.
Understand.
But there is a 1945 configuration, which if you look, here is the light airfield section. That is all post 1945 and it's not designated historical. And that is about 220 acres of property that can be used to restore the existing airfield and use for motorsports.
So you have
activity.
so you do have interest in that parcel at the
Yes,
bottom?
yes, because it's city park pending for recreational purposes according to the
Okay.
deed from the Navy, and it's the optimal. It's the exact same scenario as the neighbor islands got their tracks. Their neighbor islands got their property under their parks and recs through the through disposable property from the military.
Okay, so just so we're clear, it's only the upper right portion that you have no interest in?
Exactly, and that's the portion that's under the preservation boundary. This whole area, 20, 44, and 43, is city park pending. It is outside of the preservation boundary.
Mahalo. Thank you, Chair.
Any further questions? Thank you. Mr. Kemper?
Aloha. My name is Ed Kemper. I've been involved in racing for many, many years at Old Hawaii Raceway Park. And of course, our concern is, I must add this, I write a column for the Star Advertiser every Friday, and that column lists automotive activities. And unfortunately, yes, there's lots of automotive racing activities on the neighbor islands because they have a track. We don't have one. So we have very limited automotive activities on our most populous island. So what we want to do is return to the kind of activities that we had at Hawaii Raceway Park. And that included drifting. We did have a horrible accident because someone was drifting up on the round top. So we want to get people off the streets and into a recreational area. At least we also forget that it not only would create jobs on the site, but it would create jobs off the site. Having a race car means it's going to be repaired frequently because you're running at very high speeds, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a whole sub-industry that could be created on Oahu to support the various activities that we hope could be created for this particular site. And this site is very good because it's a reasonable location, it's somewhat isolated, so it has all the benefits of returning us to racing like we used to have at Hawaii Raceway Park. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Kemper? Okay, Mr. Tsui.
Thank you, Council Chair and Council members. My name is Avery Tsui. I am the Regional Executive for the Hawaii region of the Sports Car Club of America and a longtime racer as well. A little bit about the club. It's going to be 75 years old next year. National Club has about 68,000 members. The Hawaii region has about 300 members. And we hold events with insurance and, very strict safety guidelines throughout the nation and also here and on the outer islands. We support Resolution 18265 and believe it's the next logical step in getting motorsports back on Oahu. There are, like Lee Kobian mentioned, there are facilities on the outer islands already using city lands. So we hope that we can develop that site for similar purposes here. And it should help with, some safety issues that we're seeing on the roads today. Thank you for your time.
Any questions for the testifier? Are we the only county that doesn't have a racetrack?
I believe we are, yes. Kauai,
Okay.
Maui, and the Big Island all have locations.
On city land?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next we have Scott Shimomura and Trevin Maruyama.
Good morning, Chair.
Oh,
My name is
oh.
Scott Shimomura. I am an aide to Representative Comm. I'd like to read for him this morning. Dear Chair Kobayashi, Vice Chair Anderson, and other committee members, I'm in support of Resolution 1865, urging the administration to expedite the transfer of the deed of 400 acres of designated Kalailoa parklands from the United States to the City and County of Honolulu. Over the years, there have been collaborative efforts and discussions of building a racetrack facility on Oahu. Kalailoa Parklands was identified as a possible site for a racetrack. A racetrack not only provides an alternative to illegal street racing, but it also promotes and provides opportunities for high school and college students to explore STEM-based careers in the automotive and mechanical engineering skill industry. I'd like to refer to the poster here that Representative Kong is promoting with the high schools. We'd like to first start with IAA High School, providing a place to keep mischievous hands busy, and the drag stands for Drag Racers Against Gangs and Graffiti, and so it's a community building program that we want to initiate and promote with the racetrack to give them a place to take out those energies. This past summer, the University of Manoa Rainbow Racing Team competed in the 2018 International Formula SAE competition and received a national ranking of 2nd in efficiency, 10th in business presentation, and 14th overall despite training in a parking lot. Thus, I support the passage of Resolution 18265. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony on this measure. Sincerely, Representative Samuel S. Comm.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Okay, thank you. Mr. Maruyama.
Hi. Good morning, City Council members. I represent the Rainbow Warrior Race Team at UH Manoa. We're a Formula SAE team, and we are in support of Resolution 18265. Kind of reiterating what everyone else said. Not only will it give like a place for racing to happen, take it off the city streets and highways, but something that's in line with what our program is trying to do. We're trying to go out and promote STEM fields of study and interest in the automotive industry, not only in high schools but into all youths to pursue higher education and enrollment into not only just the UH Manoa school system, but the UH school system in general. And as it was said before, we did do relatively well last year at competition while practicing on a parking lot and a little small strip of street down by the airport. I would like to imagine that we can do even greater feats if we actually have a nice testing ground to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Yes, so the teams you competed against, they probably have professional type racetracks.
Oh yes, very much so.
But you did very well.
Yes.
Considering you didn't have any of the facilities.
Yes, we're definitely the underdogs when compared to other bigger schools, mainland teams with almost bottomless budgets and access to all kinds of facilities.
Thank you. Any further questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to testify on this matter?
Councilwoman Koichi, Brad Hayes just stepped in.
Okay.
How's it going, ma'am? Good morning, Council. So I'm going to testify in favor.
Would you say your name again?
Brad Hayes.
Okay.
Yep, with the Naval Air Museum, Barbers Point. So I am going to testify in favor of this. It obviously helps. It helps out the preservation aspect as well, and that's what the Air Museum is all about. Keeping that history out there. All the other things have been said already. I'm not going to hash that stuff over. I'd like to see. I'd like to see a little more. So the Air Museum works out at Barbers Point on the airport, and the one thing that I know that we are just lacking in this town, our island here, possibly even the state, is film and TV work. We just don't attract it. And Eva Field has the ability to attract not only World War II feature film projects and TV shows, but...
Could you summarize, please?
Yeah, I'd like to see this supported.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, thank you. And I hope it'll include a racetrack. Because we've been needing one that this all, Councilmember Fukunaga and I were very concerned after that accident and all the drifting that is occurring up on Round Top. But these people have nowhere else to release their energy when they want to race or drift or whatever they do. And they go on the freeway, so it becomes a safety issue, and that's why we started having this interest in finding a place where it's a safe place rather than our freeway. And I understand that a lot of racing goes on like at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning. And they're not just like young people, they're older adults too who just love to race. So, and that's why the other counties have racetracks.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, thank you. Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none. Resolution 18-265 is reported out for adoption. Thank you, and thank you to the UH team, and congratulations again.
Thank you, council members.
Moving on to Bill 76, CD